Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MeBoard's keyboard collection. Now that I've hit 10 keyboards total, I thought it would be fitting for me to talk to you about each one of them. So what's going and what's coming in for this year? Let's start with what is the cheapest keyboard. So the cheapest keyboard that I have is this. This is the Transition Lite. Very simple, plastic injection molded polycarbonate keyboard. What's special about this keyboard? Number one is you can get the full kit for $50 US. That's right. So all you have to do is buy maybe $10 stabilizers, $80 keycaps, and $60 switches, and then you have a perfectly good and amazing sounding keyboard. So let's give it a listen. Next, we have two keyboards from the company Neo. So you may know Neo as those that produce really budget keyboards. It's a subline under Qwertykeys. But what really impressed me about the Neo keyboards is their functionality. So you can get them with tri-mode, and they tend to be the best value for money. But from what I've experienced, although the build quality is superb and the functionality is superb, they are somewhat lacking in the sound department. So you can see some of this build quality right here. Ooh, very shiny, amazing anodization quality, and quite a beautiful color too. And this is their latest Neo75 copper, so an all copper back weight, as you can see, for only $200. But as you'll hear in the sound test, they are a little bit lacking. But I use them regularly for work because it's important for me to have Bluetooth functionality. Up next, we have a keyboard, which we shouldn't really talk about, but it is in my collection. So, of course, we're talking about this. This is the Kalam Unikorn. So it is a ripoff, okay? It is a clone, and we do look down on clones. But it was important for me to try to at least have a feel and see how it compares to an actual unicorn. So I won't offer any real opinions here, and you can make a judgment for yourself in the sound test. Next is a series of 4 keyboards from the same manufacturer. So this is my favorite manufacturer, my favorite designer, and it is of course Geonworks from Korea. Okay, so the first 2 keyboards we'll be talking about are the Frog line. So this is the Frog Mini, a very cute sounding keyboard. I've replaced the bottom feet with these bump-ons, and it drastically improves the sound on the Mini. And you can see here my cute Osume Matcha Artisan keycap. The Frog Mini has an older brother called the Frog TKL. So very nice sounding. For this one, I do believe that if you were to take off the feet and replace them with bump-ons, it would sound even better, but I'm quite happy with the sound regardless. And these are considered, for Geon's keyboards, relatively budget, so you can get them for around $250 and probably even less in the aftermarket. I think if I were just to choose value for money, I would buy a Frog. We have the 2 heaviest keyboards of my collection, and the big daddies. Okay, so these are also two keyboards from Geonworks, and they come from the F line. So this is, I guess, Geon's signature line, and they come in two different profiles. So this is the F260, which was recently released. So I was lucky enough to snag one during the batch 2 of this drop, which was a very, very challenging endeavor. I actually missed the first drop, but I'm very happy that I got one. It sounds excellent. But the F260, in my opinion, is not as nice as this. So this is my personal favorite keyboard of my collection. This is the F18X version 2. Very interesting side profile, two-tone. And the reason why this is my favorite keyboard is that I feel like this was the keyboard that really changed my perception of what it meant to be a premium keyboard. So previously I had, a bunch of Zooms, a bunch of QKs, and they were fine, but I did feel that if I was going to be paying around $200 for a keyboard, I did want a bit more. So this one was close to $400 with everything put together, and I felt it was worth every single dollar. Just the sound, the feel, the finish. I mean, this is MacBook level anodization, and it was really perfect. So this is my favorite keyboard. I hope you like the sound. Next we have probably my most expensive keyboard, but one that I think is well worth the money because it means a lot to me. And that is, of course, Kibou's Harbor. Okay, so this is the Harbor 65, and those of you who have visited Hong Kong will see this. So this is the Hong Kong skyline, and you can see some of the very iconic buildings that we have. You can see the anodization quality. Perfect, perfect. And the sound is quite nice too, except that I've messed up one of the stabilizers, and I don't want to desolder it and fix it. So that's on my list to do. We'll see. You can see here on the sides, there are this very interesting side profile with all of these angular cuts. And this is reminiscent of one of the most famous buildings that we have here in Hong Kong, which is the Bank of China building, which also has these very angular cuts. So this is a keyboard that means a lot to me. It was very expensive, but I will never be letting go of this because this is, keyboard from home. And that concludes 2024. So this year there are only two keyboards that I'm probably going to part ways with. One of them is the Neo75 Cu. I personally just don't like the sound that much, and for Bluetooth connectivity, I prefer my Neo Ergo. And the next keyboard that I'm probably letting go of is the Transition Lite. So while I do really love the Transition Lite and its sound, I do think that it would be better as a gift to someone who is starting the hobby. So I'm probably going to be giving that away. In terms of keyboards that are coming up, there are two that are currently on my radar. One of them is Laminar's Boomerang. I've been looking at that for what feels like 2 years now, but I think it's coming soon. And then finally, the one keyboard that I have actually ordered is the Jane version 3, the Rubber Hose edition. So when that comes, I think I will do a review. Please let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see, any questions, please leave them in the comments. I hope you have a fruitful year. I hope everyone stays happy and healthy, and keep keyboarding.